Hi, this is David Davies. I'm live from VMworld 2015 in San Francisco. I'm here at the Pluralsight booth, and there's a lot of activity here on the show floor. The keynote just finished. They announced that there's 23,000 people live here at VMworld, and there's 50 more thousand were listening to the keynote online. So they were showing the Twitter statistics, in fact, that the VMworld key hashtag is really trending a lot higher than even some celebrities. Anyway, here at the Pluralsight booth, we've got a bunch of Macs signed up. A bunch of Macs set up here, and people are signing up for their free Pluralsight 30-day trial. And to give you a little bit about what happened at the keynote, in case you didn't get to watch it online, which by the way you can watch the recording later. Carl Eschenberg came on. He's the COO of VMware, and he talked a lot about hybrid cloud, cloud native applications, and cloud applications that could span from the private cloud to the public cloud. He talked a lot about containers. Kit Colbert came on, who's with the VMware Office of the CTO. He talked about running vSphere applications, Docker applications native on vSphere. It's called vSphere Integrated Containers or Applications, something like that. There's a whole new thing called Project Photon, which will allow people to do that. And it's something I really want to try out. There's a session about it today, and you can download it. It's all open source. It's all free. It's over on GitHub. They talked a lot about vSAN. There's a new version of vSAN that was announced, vSAN version 6.1, with a lot more new features. By the way, my vSAN course is at pluralsight.com. Little plug there, harmless plug. They've talked a lot about vSphere 6, which was released a few months back. And there's a new revision of vSphere 6 already with some new features. And my vSphere 6 course on Pluralsight is being released. I've got 6 out of the 9 courses up there now. And Greg Shields, who's also a VMware vExpert, he's releasing his VCP DCB courses as well to go on top of mine. And that's because, if you haven't heard, the VMware Certified Professional, or the VCP, has been broken up into 2 different certifications, or not certifications, 2 different tests that you have to take. So instead of just taking one VCP exam, you first take the vSphere 6 Foundations exam, and then once you pass that, then you take a specialization. So there's a number of different VCP specializations. There's the traditional kind of granddaddy of all virtualization certifications, the VCP DCV, which is data center virtualization. There's a VCP Cloud. There's a VCP Workforce Mobility, which is end-user computing. There's a VCP and network virtualization. So you have a number of different tracks to choose from. But it all starts really with that vSphere 6 Foundations course, which is what I've been creating. So it's broken up into 8 different courses, install, configure, administering virtual machines, networking, vSphere storage, high availability and resource management, and troubleshooting. I'm not sure if that added up to the right number, but that's basically how it breaks down. So it's a number of different courses, all available on pluralsight.com. And as I mentioned, Greg is slowly releasing, or quickly releasing, I guess I should say, he's actually been working pretty fast, the VCP, DCV specialization courses on top of that. Also at Pluralsight, we've got a number of other new courses. Jason Nash has been releasing VMware NSX training, which in fact was talked a lot about at the keynote this morning here at VMworld. They had the CIO of DirecTV on the stage today, and he talked about how they used VMware's NSX and VMware's hybrid cloud to run the largest on-demand pay-per-view event in history, which was the recent boxing match between those 2 boxer guys. I don't know the names. But anyway, it was the largest online pay-per-view event in history, and it was all powered by VMware NSX and VMware's hybrid cloud.
We have a question about the swag that's available at the booth.
Oh, swag, yeah.
Maybe we can show them.
We've got some awesome swag. We have VNerd shirts, which, in case you don't know, have been given away here at VMworld for many years now. I believe 2011. This one isn't going to fit me, but 2011, I believe, was the first VNerd shirt. I have them all in my closet at home. I've got 2011, 2012, 13, 14, and now I'm going to add 15 to the collection. On the back it says Pluralsight 2015. And so yeah, these have kind of become a classic, one of the most valued swag pieces that you can pick up here at VMworld. So I know those have been really popular, and let's see what else. There's a lot of other cool swag, of course, around the show floor.
Someone was surprised that we're using Macs at our booth.
They were using Macs. Hey, you know, I was a PC guy for many years when I was an IT manager, and moved over to Mac. And I'll just tell you a little bit about my vSphere home lab. That brings up a good question that I've been recording the vSphere 6 Foundations course on. I've been doing everything, in fact, in an iMac, just like one of these. It's got 32 gigs of RAM, it's got a 1 terabyte PCIe flash drive, and an i7 CPU. And with that, I'm able to use VMware Fusion, and I run a Windows Active Directory virtual machine, a Windows Storage Controller virtual machine, 2 ESXi hosts, both with 8 gigs of RAM, and I run virtual machines inside, and then I just loaded vRealize operations on top as well. So I've got all these virtual machines all running on an iMac, and basically that's what I've been using to create this whole vSphere 6 Foundations course. I'm able to use vMotion, fault tolerance, high availability, distributed resource scheduler. I haven't tried vSAN yet, but I'm told that it will work. So there's so much you can do these days in just a powerful, desktop computer, whether it's Windows or a Mac. So you can run Workstation on Windows, or you can run Fusion, on a Mac. If you don't have a powerful computer, don't want to invest in it, you still want to learn vSphere, another great way to do it is the VMware Hands-On Labs. If you just go Google VMware Hands-On Labs, I think it's hol.vmware.com is the URL. They're completely free. You sign up, you get a free VMware account, and you can go on there and you can try out just about all the VMware products. They're already installed and configured. So that's kind of the piece that you miss, is the experience installing and configuring them for yourself. But you get a lot of hands-on experience administering virtual machines and using VMware products. So for people who don't have the resources, it's a great free way to get started learning vSphere.
Someone said, is Windows 10 going to push a large part of the market to Mac?
To Mac. What I heard about Windows 10 is that it's going to help power end-user computing. It's going to power the VDI upgrades. That's what people were talking about this morning. I've heard a lot of good things about Windows 10 actually, but I have not used it myself, so I have no idea. But yeah, I think a lot of companies, they're still running Windows XP. They're interested in Windows 10, and yeah, sure, that's going to power a lot of VDI deployments, in my opinion. Let's see, Pluralsight here has been sponsoring the VM Underground party last night, which was a great, really big party. Lots of people were there. It was on the rooftop over at the mezzanine, and so I appreciate Pluralsight sponsoring that community event. It's been going on now here since I've been coming to VMworld, 2008. Any other questions from the audience?
Let's see, any questions? Saying Pluralsight does it big, and I'll check out vSphere again. It's been a while.
Great. Yeah, thank you everyone for your feedback. Another question that could be from the audience, which I commonly get, is around VMware certification and how to get started. VMware is one of the only certifications out there that I know of that requires you to take a class to get the VCP. So there might be some, IT pros out there, their company won't sponsor them for a class right now, they don't have the money for the class. That class is required to actually get your VCP certificate. But the cool thing is, there's another option to get started in VMware certification, and that's called the VCA, or the VMware Certified Associate. So the cool thing about the VCA is you don't have to take a VMware class. You just prepare, you learn about it, you go online, you register, and you take a test, which in the United States is about $120. So if you pass that test, you have a VCA certification number. You can put on your resume that you're a VMware Certified Associate. So it's kind of like an MCP, if you're familiar with that, the Microsoft Certified Professional. It's a great entry-level certification exam for people who want to get started in VMware. And at Pluralsight.com, I have a VMware VCA preparation training course. So that's a great way to get started. that's available for desktop virtualization as well as data center virtualization or vSphere. Something else that's really hot here for those who aren't attending is hyperconvergence. If you're not familiar with the term hyperconvergence, hyperconvergence today really means taking physical storage and distributing it across the servers and essentially eliminating the storage area network or the NAS. And so there's a lot of benefits to doing that besides cost savings. There's also a lot of administrative benefits and other advanced features you can gain like deduplication, data protection. So VMware's hyperconvergence solution is really a VMware vSAN, which we have a course on, and then they package that into appliances through vendors, and they call it Evo, VMware Evo. There's also a lot of other hyperconvergence, players here. I recently wrote...
Better than NAS?
Better than a what?
Better than NAS?
An AS? Oh, better. Is hyperconvergence better than a NAS?
The NAS?
Yeah. So hyperconvergence, has a lot of benefits over using a NAS. I mean, a NAS, one thing about a NAS is traditionally it's a single hardware device, and if it fails, and you had all your virtual machines stored on that NAS, it's down. So providing high availability for your storage is a challenge for a lot of companies. They don't want to buy two fully redundant NASs. They can't afford that. And even if they could, the configuration is advanced. It's complex. Most vSphere admins have high availability for their servers, so the compute layer with vSphere high availability or HA. But if the NAS fails, if it goes down, then all their virtual machines potentially could be down. So hyperconvergence eliminates that problem. It distributes the virtual machines across the compute layer, and there's redundancies in that. So if a compute node fails, all the other virtual machines stay up. I recently helped to write a book on it that's available free on the internet called The Guerrilla Guide to Hyperconvergence Implementation. They're handing it out here at VMworld, but you can download it free. You'll probably see the link in my Twitter stream if you want to learn more about that. There's a lot of different approaches to hyperconvergence. VMware vSAN is one, but there's a lot of other options for hyperconvergence. Any other questions from the audience?
Just saying that hyperconvergence is a good thing to know. It's a great topic to talk about.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll actually be on the Cube, which is live stream. It's a big news studio over here later this afternoon. And if you want to catch me over there, feel free to do that remotely. If not, follow my blog, virtualizationsoftware.com, and follow me on Twitter, David M. Davis, and follow my Pluralsight courses at pluralsight.com as well. So thanks so much, everyone, for your support, and thanks for tuning in today live from VMworld 2015. Have a good day.